back. For what purposes the gentleman from Tennessee seek recognition?
Strike the last word.
Gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This hearing is about giving homicide victims rights and letting cold cases be re-studied and investigated by federal prosecutors. Congressman Mike McCall, a Republican who I think we all admire, who stays above the fray and does the people's business, wrote us a letter asking us to pass this bill. He outlined the reasons that it was introduced, and they were talked about by Representative Scanlon, the details of the bill. He mentioned a case in Texas he was aware of and the need to reinvestigate it, that it was a cold case. I thank Representative McCall, but I'm shocked by the Republicans in this committee who have not concentrated on homicide, on violent crime, on Representative McCall's request, and dealt with the issue before us. America is suffering from many, many, many homicides, many violent felonies, and we need to do more to support our police, to give them the opportunity to go back and look at cold cases and find people who committed these crimes and see that justice is served. In Memphis, we just had a killing. We have them every second or third day or every day sometimes at a service station where a 16 and a 15-year-old girl were killed by a drive-by shooter and another 15-year-old girl hospitalized and a baby hospitalized. We have shocking stories like this every day. We need more community policing in cities with high crime, high violent crime, and we need more support for this. And Democrats, almost 2-1, support such a proposition. We are concerned about our neighbors. We're concerned about our fellow citizens. We're concerned about violent crime and the need to reinvestigate cold cases and to support our community policing that does a good job of getting into the community to get tips and to find the answers to who committed these crimes. Yet, our Republicans, what do? They bring up something that they think is politically important to them to try to win back the House. I think that Mr. Garland should come back before the committee to answer my questions. Why has he not indicted individual one, Donald Trump, for paying hush money to Stormy Daniels, a porn star, before the election, a violation of federal election laws that landed Michael Cohen in jail for 3 years and a felony conviction? He was individual one. He gave Cohen the order. He gave Cohen the check. He signed the check. He did the same thing with the Playboy Playmate of the Year, but it went through, I think, Mr. Wiesenthal or whatever his name is, his consigliere, his accountant. And he paid off Miss McDougal and bought her rights. And this was a way to keep that out of the news and to allow him to be elected. This is the things Mr. Garland should come back to us for. And he should tell us why he's not having a special counsel investigating Donald Trump. We're trying to overthrow our government. Overthrow our government.
Would Mr. Cohen yield?
No, I won't yield. He should come back and tell us why, because he needs to do that. The Republicans want to wear this committee out on January 6th so that they can disband the committee. The most treasonous act, worse than Benedict Arnold, was Donald Trump and Giuliani and Flynn and Trump Jr. and the other fellow, where's the hat, Roger Stone. They worked with the Proud Boys and the Bad Boys and everybody else to overthrow our government. They weren't regular and nice folks like Mr. Gates says. They were a confederacy of dunces who came to our Capitol to take over our government, to disrupt the Senate counting of the ballots for president, and to hang Mike Pence. This should be investigated by the U.S. Attorney General, and this is the most serious crime committed against the United States in our lifetimes, and maybe forever, other than the secession by the southern states to end the Union, when slavery was more important, they called it states' rights, than was humanity and people's rights to be free. They wanted to maintain their free labor and their slave society. This is what they should be talking about. But they're not talking about crime that relates to the fundamentals of our government. They're not talking about crime that Mike McCall endorses that deals with everyday citizens being victims of crimes and finding the perpetrators of those crimes. They're talking about something to do with school boards. I saw television reports in Franklin, Tennessee, where after a school board meeting, people went and banged on the school board commissioners' cars and said, "We know where you live. We will come and get you." This type of conduct has to stop. Somebody threatened my life and threatened Emmanuel Cleaver's life, and they're now doing 39 months in federal prison, as they should. People should not have their lives, their safety, and their liberty threatened. I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back for